changing course on banning books.
I think that there was some misunderstanding.
After the provincial policy creates a backlash. A high-risk environment.
As of midnight last night, we were at 52 hours of smoke.
Smoke makes its presence known in the city. And a milestone at Spruce Meadows.
I would invite everybody to just join with us and celebrate 50 years.
Jets land in Calgary with some special cargo on board.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Ian White.
Good afternoon. The province is pausing its book ban policy on the first day of school as some teachers empty out bookshelves before students even arrive. Tyson Fedor is at St. Sebastian Elementary in Chaparral. So, Tyson, why the change of course from the province?
Well, Ian, the education minister today emailed all school boards across the province, basically telling them to pause any development or distribution of any lists of books that they plan to put on this ban list. And Demetrius Nicolaitis says this pause of this directive will be in effect until further notice. Now, just last week, Edmonton's school board indicated over 200 books would be pulled off its school library shelves, including many Canadian classics, because of the province's definition of sexually explicit material. Other schools felt they had to cover all books until it could be determined which ones, if any, were sexually explicit. The principal at a school in Lacombe offered boxes of books for free to the public, saying they just did not have the staff to comply with the minister's order. Margaret Atwood weighed in with a scathing response after her novel, The Handmaid's Tale, was caught up in the banning. She says the education minister believes kids are, quote, stupid babies. The premier says the goal of the directive has always been to get pornographic images out of schools.
Well, it'll be paused for a couple of hours while the ministerial order is rewritten. The direction will be to take books with pornographic images out of the libraries and to leave the classics alone. I think that there was some misunderstanding.
Now, the minister says that he's revising that ministerial order as we speak and hopes to do that immediately and essentially ensure books with what the province deems to be sexually explicit material do not end up in the hands of children. Ian?
Tyson, thanks very much. How long Alberta children will be attending school remains uncertain at this point. Last week, talks broke down between the teachers' union and the province. Teachers have until October 7th to hit the picket lines, but they have to provide 72 hours notice. The government says a lockout would only be used as a reactionary response, a move that also requires 72 hours notice. Wildfire smoke is causing very poor air quality and reduced visibility in Calgary. In fact, it was so bad overnight, Environment and Climate Change Canada ranked it 10+. It's now dropped to 7, but that's still high risk. At that level, it's recommended people limit their time outdoors and reschedule or cancel outdoor activities and events. The smoke is mostly coming from wildfires burning in the Northwest Territories, but also in Saskatchewan.
As of midnight last night, we were at 52 hours of smoke. And to put that in perspective, last year's numbers, of course, for the entire wildfire season to the end of October, but we saw 200 hours. So we've seen quite a bit less so far. 2023 was our smokiest year on record with 512 hours in the Calgary area.
The smoke is expected to stick around for the next few days, but can vary considerably over short distances and from hour to hour. So, Danielle, I guess we need a strong wind moving in from the right direction.
We do. And what you can expect, though, is waves of smoke. Sometimes they could get this bad. So the 10+ that we had there this morning, we could get back to that on and off. We have smoky conditions possible on and off right through Friday, that I can tell, and then it's hard to forecast something as far away as the weekend at this point. So be prepared for some smoky times as we go here. We have a huge upper level low, and it's really pulling in that air from the north, and it's really just getting funneled along the mountains and pooling in southern Alberta, Calgary, along with many other communities in the southern part of the province and all of the mountains as well, as you can see under that air quality warning. So I'm just going to play this through so you can get an idea of the on and off waves. We'll get breaks, we'll get smokier conditions, and this will be on and off again right through until Friday. 21 degrees is the temperature right now. We would have been warmer if it wasn't for all the smoke. The smoke didn't allow that sun to hit the surface like it would have today. Your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Fifth Avenue Volkswagen, where you can win your ride. See dealer for details or visit fifthAvVW.com. Now tomorrow, we're expecting still smoky conditions, but less of the waves, so we'll get a little more sunshine. We should be able to get up to 30 degrees. More details coming up, Ian.
Thank you, Danielle. Calgary police have charged a local businesswoman for a hazardous material incident that forced a 2-day evacuation in the Manchester industrial area. Starting on September 26, the bomb and tactical unit cleared the area and began controlled detonations of the package. It contained highly unstable picric acid. Investigators say the businesswoman hired a moving company to dispose of the material, but didn't properly disclose what it was. Officers say when the moving company was turned away from disposing the package at a recycling center, they brought it back to their depot in the industrial area. The moving company says it tried for 10 days to contact the business that had hired them.
This item could have had serious consequences during the transport or during the storage at the plant. So yeah, we are thankful that nobody was hurt. And that we were contacted at the first chance that we could be. So yeah, we're very fortunate that this did not explode on transit.
Christine Jacqueline Teschel is facing 1 count of criminal negligence. The 59-year-old will appear in court on October 8th. Alberta's police watchdog has released more details about a man recently shot by Calgary police. It started with a domestic assault call in the southwest neighborhood of Yorkville on August 18th. Police were looking for a man whom they found on a city bus. ACERT says the man got off the bus and started to cut himself with a knife. One officer fired a taser twice, but it had no effect. Another officer fired his handgun twice, hitting the man in the leg. The man continued to harm himself and walk away. Officers then fired a baton launcher and more tasers. Finally, the man was handcuffed and taken to hospital. ACERT continues to investigate the use of force. A Calgary woman has been found dead on Highway 2 south of the city. RCMP say the 20-year-old was found around 11 last night just past the Okotoks turnoff. Investigators believe the woman was hit by a large vehicle like a semi-truck. The driver did not remain at the scene. Police would like to hear from any witnesses or anyone with dash cam footage from the area at the time of the hit and run. The search of Upper Kananaskis Lake continues after 2 people never resurfaced when their canoe capsized last week. 4 people were in the canoe when it capsized last Tuesday afternoon. RCMP say nobody was wearing a life jacket. Nearby boaters and paddleboarders raced to rescue 2 people, but they weren't able to save a 34-year-old man and a 33-year-old woman. Search crews have been looking for the bodies ever since. The fathers of the victims of last week's tragic drownings in Mahogany are speaking out and want to see change to better protect swimmers at Calgary's lakes. Jordan Canagan is in Mahogany with more. And Jordan, the parents are calling for urgent action to prevent drownings.
Ian, it was nearly a week ago when 2 20-year-old men drowned in the lake behind me. Their fathers now speaking out, hoping that some type of positive change may come from the tragedies their families have been dealing with for 6 days now. The bodies of Kaylin Escalante and Yagazi Ike Peters were recovered last Wednesday after they drowned near the docks at Mahogany Lake. The circumstances of what happened before their deaths still unclear, even to their families. The fathers of both men are now calling on private lakes and the city to mandate more protections for anyone on the water. A petition has been started to consider making lifeguards mandatory at private lakes in the city, or at least have some better equipment available for when people go under and need saving.
I think there's an opportunity for us to improve the way our beaches are operated so that there won't be another story in the near future or even later that we lost someone at the beach. They are just there to have fun, to create memories. Why should the memory then turn to be the loss of life?
Now, all three of the fire department's aquatic rescue teams were brought in for this incident last week, but volunteer divers had to be called in for this recovery. The fire chief saying that the fire department's dive team has been put on pause for the time being due to issues with training and the equipment available. He says a review is underway, but they expect the fire department's dive team to be back next year. Ian?
All right, Jordan, thank you. The cause of a fire at a northeast Calgary home is still under investigation. Around 5:30 last night, firefighters found smoke and flames coming from the back of the house on Terradale Drive. Once the flames were extinguished, there was extensive damage both inside and outside the home. Everyone who lived there was able to get out, but one man did end up with minor burns. Fire also forcing 5 people out of their home in the southeast. At about 6:30 last night, fire crews were called to a 2-story single-family home on New Brighton Lane. Heavy smoke and flames were coming from a second-floor window. The investigation into the cause continues. Meantime, the city's newest fire hall is now open. The 2-bay Cornerstone Fire Station will be servicing the far northeast when it goes into service on September 24th. A household hazardous waste drop-off is also included. The fire hall will start with just 1 engine, but the fire chief says they could add more apparatus in the future.
The apparatus we have deployed here is what we consider to be appropriate for today, but you can tell this area is going to change incredibly in the years to come, and it may well be we'll want to have a ladder truck or some other type of apparatus stationed in Cornerstone, and we have the ability to do that. We've built that into it.
The Cornerstone Fire Hall will replace the temporary fire station in Skyview. Researchers in Lethbridge are taking a close look at the space program. Just ahead, their research into what astronauts experience in orbit. And an unsolved crime in a Calgary neighborhood as a statue that was stolen is replaced. A statue of a dog stolen from a northwest Calgary community has now been replaced with a new one. The sculpture was stolen from Hanson Ranch in August of 2024 after someone cut the bolts fixing the dog to a concrete platform. It happened even though the statue is in sight of several homes. No one has been caught in the crime, which was part of a spate of thefts targeting bronze plaques over the last few years. The 2 statues depict Gene Hanson, the namesake of Hanson Ranch, being trailed by his dog. The Dachshund Dash wrapped up the harness racing season at Century Downs this weekend. More than 50 wiener dogs competed, with the top 4 dogs and their owners taking home prize baskets. Alberta Dachshund Rescue and Parachutes for Pets both benefited from the fundraising event.
Oh, adorable.
Isn't that adorable? And so much fun. So you're saying the smoke is bothering you a little bit?
In the throat.
In the throat. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Also my eyes, but I ate something with onions.
That's a different story.
It might be. But yes, don't go outside in this. I mean, it's of course not recommended for anybody with underlying conditions. However, even if you don't have underlying conditions, it's not very good for you. You can see how smoky it is here. We were at a 10 plus on the way off to work and school today in the city, and it's not that much better now at the moment. We'll get to the current level in just a second here, but in the gray, this is the air quality warning that has been issued by Environment and Climate Change Canada. Extends off into parts of Saskatchewan, includes Empress, down to Medicine Hat, down to the U.S. border, Lethbridge, Brooks, Calgary, and then up the mountains. Now, a lot of this smoke originated in the Northwest Territories. There's also some smoke from Saskatchewan, mainly though in the Northwest Territories. And then we're getting this air pushing in from the east on the surface, and that's actually keeping all of this up against the mountains and in the south end. So it's basically just funneled in. It's here to stay for the rest of today, and then we'll start to see just waves of it as we go through the coming days. Here's that big upper level low off to the east, and that's what helped drag down all that smoke from the far north. And there is a look at this on the upper air analysis here. And really, we're going to continue to see this low intensify to the east of us, and that's going to continually pull air in from the north, and it will be waves of smoke for us for the coming days. Now, earlier today in Calgary, Lethbridge, for example, Medicine Hat, we were at a 10 or a 10 plus. So we were at that, as you can see by the scale here, we were at that very high risk level. At this point in Calgary, we're now at a 10 again. And again, we'll go back and forth. So it's a little bit better in Lethbridge at 7, Medicine Hat's at 8. This is all still high or very high. So this is not great for the lungs, as you know that. Okay, so I'm going to play this through. You can see the waves on and off. We may get a bit of a break tomorrow at times, which is why temperatures might be able to climb a little higher, but then it should be for Thursday and Friday, we could get back into this higher level once again at times as well. This is why we didn't get quite high on the temperatures, just those lower 20s for most communities, Calgary included in that, because we did have so much smoke out there. Okay, looking at that longer range forecast here, 30 degrees for tomorrow is possible because we should have less waves of smoke, but we will still have waves at times, and then it will have more waves likely for Thursday and Friday, and that's why we won't get as warm and we'll remain in those lower 20s by then as well.
Some groundbreaking research on the health impact of space travel on astronauts will be carried out at the University of Lethbridge. The Canadian Space Agency has given a $225,000 grant to researchers at the U of L. Previous studies have shown space flight in a low-gravity environment has quite an impact on astronauts, including the loss of bone and muscle mass. The research team will work with a colleague in the U.S. and have access to data from NASA astronauts. The study could also lead to ways to counteract the negative effects of space flights. Calgary's real estate market is shifting. Still ahead, prices slip as more inventory comes on the market. Likely already have some of their products in your pantry, and now Kraft Heinz has decided to split. Joining me is Liana Wachniak, investment advisor with the Popwich Carmeli Advisory Group. So first of all, Liana, what happened on the markets today?
Well, it was quite the interesting first trading day back after the Labor Day holiday. We saw basically negatives in both markets up until pretty much the end of the day when we saw the Canadian market tick over into the green. Now, the Canadian market was helped a fair bit by the fact that gold hit a record high today. On the U.S. side of the border, we saw a lot of uncertainty given the U.S. court decision that came down on Friday afternoon that a lot of the tariffs that the Trump administration have been acting on have been illegal, at least according to this decision. So that put a lot of uncertainty into the overall global trade, and that turned the U.S. market negative.
And Kraft Heinz merged quite a few years ago, and now they've decided to split up.
That's right. And they're not necessarily doing a split back into Kraft and Heinz, but they're splitting sauces, including things like ketchup, and grocery staples. So things like their Lunchables line, their Oscar Mayers, those sorts of things. Really what they're trying to do is they've got a fairly complicated supply chain and a complicated sort of interwoven network of companies. What they're trying to do is split the two of them apart, try and find some economies of scale, try and find some efficiencies there, and they're hoping that having these two publicly traded companies instead will help them do that. Market not necessarily believing them. We saw them trade down at the end of the day today.
Liana, thanks very much.
Thank you.
More homes are available in Calgary's real estate market, and that's leading to lower prices. The Calgary Real Estate Board says inventory of homes for sale rose to more than 6,600 in August. That's the highest for that month since 2019. The benchmark price for all homes dropped to $577,000. The decline in sales is particularly sharp in the apartment condo market, where the inventory was more than 1,900, the highest ever in August. The benchmark price for condos has dropped for 5 straight months to $326,000. The province pauses its book removal policy. Here's Tara Nelson with a look ahead to CTV News at 6.
Hi, Ian. After pushback from schools and authors and Albertans, the province is revising its new policy on sexually explicit books. The order's original wording meant many classics would be removed from school library shelves, but the province says it only ever intended to get pornographic books out of schools. Coming up at 6, how parents are responding. Also ahead, an earthquake devastates eastern Afghanistan, with the death toll now climbing to over 1,400. Coming up, we'll hear from a Calgary family who has lost over a dozen relatives. Ian.
Thank you, Tara. The Bow Valley cycling experience is back for the fall season. Until October 2nd, 17 kilometers of the pathway in Banff is closed to vehicles. Cyclists and hikers can enjoy the east end from the Trans-Canada Highway Junction all the way to Johnston Canyon. Drivers can still access the popular destination from the west end of the parkway. Cyclists are encouraged to start their journey at Banff's train station, where there is free parking. We've gone from smoking hot to just plain smoky. Right now in Calgary, it is 21 degrees. You can see the haze in that picture right there. Danielle has details just ahead. The kids returned to school today on a rather smoky day, and
yes,
a lot of that will linger for really most of the week.
Yeah, on and off smoke waves, certainly in our forecast for the next few days. I can't forecast as far as the weekend. That's a bit trickier to tell that far away with regards to smoke. But you can expect smoky waves at times. But it was a cute morning. All the little kitties off to school. Even though it was smoky, 21 degrees current temperature, today's daytime high. Tomorrow, even though that says 28, for some reason these temperatures went all wonky. 28, probably 30 degrees for tomorrow. We should be less smoky, but still some smoky waves. And then in those lower 20s for Thursday and Friday with smoky waves. Ian?
Thank you, Danielle. The horses have landed in Calgary for the Spruce Meadows Masters. A record 98 horses arrived at the International Animal Lounge at YYC, accompanied by a host of groomers and vets. Spruce Meadows is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. Officials say history is also being made with a record $5 million prize purse for Sunday's competition. The Duchess of Edinburgh will also be attending this year's Masters after becoming patron of Spruce Meadows.
Spruce Meadows is for everyone. It's a family affair, but it is going to have great entertainment, great sport. We have the British band, we have honor guard. We marry tradition with what's new in the sport, and so I would invite everybody to just join with us and celebrate 50 years at Spruce Meadows.
Ahead of the competition, Spruce Meadows hosted a preview event on Monday with corgi races, a hobby horse competition, and musical entertainment. The Masters runs September 3rd to the 7th. Thanks for joining us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.